So that when we're talking about releasing bonds, you guys can
Or put in a budget for 40.
Hello, everyone.
James, how are you?
Hi. Merry Christmas to you.
Good to see you.
Merry Christmas, board.
Oh,
How you
yeah,
doing?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I was in work mode.
A new member here?
It's been hell.
Yeah, I know.
It's been busy.
Guys,
Hey,
we're gonna
Doc.
call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. It's December 21st. Can everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? We still have our flag, so we're in great shape. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And just before we start, I don't know how many of you are aware, but I know you all know this gentleman. Neil McDonald passed away about 3 or 4 days ago. Neil was in front of our board about 3 months ago with his granddaughter and ex-son-in-law about
Yeah, you.
me
Yeah.
with very little frontage, like 15 feet, and she wanted to put a house. Anyway, he was, I think, in his early 90s, and but he's been in town, my guess is as long as everybody calls it now, if not
Connected to the town
longer. Anyway, I just want to make everybody aware, as rough around the edges, but a big heart. So anyway, I feel bad for his family that's happened. We have a very simple night tonight. We're actually going to go over. We're going to do the stuff that for the gentlemen that are here, and then we'll do the rework for last month because nobody's here for that, and we can do the minutes then. So we're going to start with Stony Landing, and is that what we have here?
Stonegate Landing.
Stonegate Landing. I'm sorry.
Nope, Stony Ridge.
That's offensive, by the way.
Yeah, it really is.
Right, Stonegate, no, we're doing
It does
this
say
business,
Stonegate
right.
Landing on mine.
Right, I'm sorry. We're gonna jump right to B, Pine Street. And, and it's,
What is this?
I don't wanna take that any further. And this is gonna be case number 1516. And, the Pines, do you have a copy to read, or?
Actually, don't.
This is,
Can you give us copies of 15 and 16, no? I don't think so.
No, I don't have physical, I
Okay,
just have
it's
the
all right.
request is,
um,
his request is an email. Yep.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I've
it's
seen
okay.
the, I've seen the.
So this is, I think everybody's gotten this at some point. It was a request to release some lots from the Pines.
Pines and Stony Ridge.
Right.
I'm sorry, Peter, I didn't hear what case you were starting with. Was it 15, 16?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So Bob, if you want to appoint 3 members, and this is a vote that has to be 2/3, and we do have some comments from our attorney Marguerite, which I believe everybody should have as part of their packet. So gentlemen, if you want to start,
You want to pick the 3 members?
Jason
yeah.
Quinn,
Jason?
I'm gonna put Peter, because you've obviously done some review of this.
Yep.
Ken,
Bishop, or okay, you, where, the black one.
Yeah, it's the standard uniform today.
good color choice.
Oh, okay, we're talking about the pines?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the lots,
I'll put it as like phase 1.
He said
from the entrance all the way to.
I'm sorry. Excuse me just
Go
a
ahead.
second. I'm screwing up. I'm saying Pine Street.
Stony Ridge.
Right, so.
Okay, so we're on, we're the voting members on Stony Ridge.
Right.
Oh,
I'm assuming Stony Ridge. That's why I pulled out Stony Ridge. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for the confusion, gentlemen.
So, on Stony Ridge, we completed everything in phases 1 and 2, all the roads, all the sidewalks, all trees, except for minor, like because of the winter, we couldn't do the grass strip in between the sidewalk and the street,
Right.
and minor but the cleanup for the catch basins, which they're, you know, we're gonna have to clean them periodically anyways, but we're happy to do anytime. In my opinion, the balance is of work left is 9,000. According to Peter Williams, it's 38,000. I don't have any issues going with the 38,000. What I would like to suggest to you, to propose to you is, just so we can clean up all the work in phases 1 and 2, releasing the 2 lots that are left on phases 1 and 2, so we can build them and no more construction traffic would go that way. And whatever number you go with, 9 or 38, if we can add it to the completion on phases 3, 4, and 5, I think it would be a common sense approach to do. If you, I think you have many safeguards to make sure that this work is done, although it's minimal amount of work, but you have many safeguards in case I fall short of my commitments. And I would suggest to you that I have not, nor will I ever do that, but if that's a worry, you know, there is plenty of lots that you can either withhold the release of, or with, you know, instructing the building commissioner to withhold either building permits or certificate of occupancies in case I don't perform my commitment. But I'll leave that to your discretion.
Okay. Well, we'll back up then, and let's start with the cost to complete.
Sure.
And then we can talk about the release of the lots.
Sure.
Because we've used a certain formula
Sure.
for both. But with the cost of complete,
Yes, sir.
the easy one that we started talking about was the number of trees.
Yes.
This is Stony Ridge. You're here to speak for Tom Ferry. And,
I
am. There was a question during our negotiation, working session. Landscaping has always been a big thing with us in the town. And obviously, a certain amount of trees get cut down. We like to have a certain amount replaced. In addition to landscaping, in addition to replacing, they become a landscaping item. I have recently been out there, although I didn't drive phase 3 and 4 with you.
There were no trees.
There's no
planted.
trees
No.
there yet.
No, we're not, the trees issue is not really pertaining to 3, 4, and 5. It's only
just
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Right.
What's your opinion, Jim?
Sure.
Because I know you're speaking here for Tom Ferry
Sure.
as far as, and the reason why I bring that up, because the trees are a large item
Sure.
for cost.
So Tom and I had a long conversation today. He apologizes, he had a prior engagement, he couldn't be here, although he tried. And I asked him specifically on the 2 subdivisions, because I know they were both before us tonight. And he had more of to say on the Pines and less to say on Stony Ridge.
Okay.
He does not have a problem with any of the tree plantings at either subdivision. Quite frankly, he's been working with the developer to work out some problems that may have arose down the road, which is exactly what he's here for, as the tree warden. So the only thing he said with respect to tree plantings in Stony Ridge, that there may be some trees that landed within the footprint of the driveways
Right,
that had to be omitted because of the location of the driveway.
right.
But other than that, he's satisfied with the tree plantings so far in phases 1 and 2.
Okay.
He did say that if there were tree omissions, if the board was so inclined, we could find another location to put that tree that may be omitted somewhere else.
Right.
I didn't study what you're looking at.
Yep.
I don't know what number he came up with, but according to the tree warden, there is no vast difference in what he's looking for and what's actually out there.
Well, this is the cost to complete just the phases 1 and 2.
Okay?
And he has 12,000 here for trees.
Okay?
Street trees, 30 more at the cost of $400 a piece.
Okay?
And it sounds awfully high, and it almost, I thought it was an error. And
After speaking with the tree warden, I'd have to say that it may be an error. Although
Okay.
I don't wanna chastise Peter, he does his job.
He's excellent.
But unless we're missing something that was on the original plans, I don't see any drastic reduction in
Okay,
the trees.
so it still brings us down to 26,000, which is still 3 times what you have said. You said the cost to complete, in your estimate, was 9,000.
I enumerated
you
the
gave me
details why.
9,385.
Correct,
But 3 of the lights were completed after Peter Williams went out.
correct.
You haven't,
But I don't mind leaving that cost if you'd like.
what?
Like,
Yeah, and just subtract from the cost whatever you
Okay.
think is unreasonable, and keep the
All right,
rest.
well then, okay, we can subtract some of this, but you never put a bond, okay, so that
Right.
leaves,
right,
Yes.
because it's less about the amount and more
so
about,
then it's more about the lot release.
Right.
Okay, so, this is where I want, everybody's on the board, his opinion. Has everybody read the letter from Marguerite?
Yes.
And you, I'm assuming both of you
I
have
have
read it.
right.
You put up a unique bond,
Correct.
and because of putting up that unique bond, we've always had, when it comes to releasing lots, we have the same conversation over and over again. And I don't know how to stop it from being just a train wreck or a train that just goes round and round. Other than to say, I have a tendency to agree with Marguerite, but I also agree with what you say as far as complete that area for construction and we move on to the next. The issue that I have with, that I like with Marguerite is there another way to bond this so that we can get rid of this idea of holding lots? And,
I have quite a bit to say about that letter, if you wouldn't
okay,
mind letting me speak.
the letter
when
from
I'm ready.
Marguerite or
Yes,
the letter
yes,
from?
Yes.
Okay,
First off, Marguerite does a tremendous job for this board. And I agree with all of the text in the body of that letter with respect to condition 36 of the comprehensive permit. I think the thing that we're missing here is that if we drove into that subdivision and drove through phases 1 and 2, and the rest of the subdivision was woods, virgin, then that would have a good standings, because we have nothing else there with any substantial value to hang our hat on. Right. So in this way, I disagree with Marguerite that in this particular case, we don't have that. We have phases 3, 4, and 5 that are completely paved, all the utilities are in, most of the lots have been treed and scrubbed. So those lots all have significant value. So I agree with the intent of condition 36, but I don't think it applies in this situation because Bisher has gone ahead and done more than he perhaps had to up to this point in the game. So in my professional opinion, because of my previous comments about the safety concerns with the lots being left until the end, let's finish that out. Let's hold lots in sections 3, 4, and 5 because they do have value.
with, a couple things about this condition. It was
Yeah.
put in, everybody knew when it was put in, that this was gonna be there. So everybody had input at that time. It could have been, we don't wanna do it that way, here's another way. I've agreed with you as far as the safety issues, getting all the construction vehicles out of there, but as a building inspector, how many new lots do you have you seen go in this year where a house is going in a neighborhood that already exists? Does it create a safety hazard for all the other houses that are there? So is it time to stop relying on, well, it's a safety issue now, let's build that out so we can move on, or is it just a convenient issue? And when we put these conditions in, it's now, we're gonna change the comprehensive permit because we have used this as a formula for this project all along, as well as others. It's not just as simple as widening it out and saying, I mean, we can just release other lots, but when a future development comes in and they wanna use the same process of a bond, we're gonna be faced with the same issue. Well, let's complete phase 1. I mean, there an issue for holding these ideal lots.
I don't know that anybody could have anticipated that that subdivision would be in the state it's in right now, and
It's-
still talking about releasing lots in phases 1 and
Right,
2, so.
never,
I
because he's
never-
done a
never-
beautiful job.
We never could have anticipated that.
They came in completely, I don't mean to be looking at him,
No,
but
no, yeah.
I'm addressing
Yeah,
him.
right.
They came in completely unknown, we had concerns, we had been burned, so we're gonna hold everybody's feet to the fire. What is the board's opinion?
You guys have to do SWEP.
I'm sorry,
Is there SWEP on your projects?
Yeah.
All right, stormwater prevention and all that
Yes.
stuff?
yes.
So you have to do all your drains, all that stuff?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's an inconvenience to that subdivision on that side as well. That's one thing I think about.
Right.
I know the safety is a matter on that. Especially when, is it open to, is that a public road yet now? Has that been released to the town?
No,
Right,
Stormwater
no,
so it's
but
private?
there are a lot of families living there.
Exactly, I've seen that, all right.
Yeah.
So SWEP, Pete, that's a big thing, stormwater prevention, and leaving all that storm drain stuff in there while this project is being done is gonna be an issue
Yeah.
there.
I think so.
Yeah.
What are you saying, SWEP?
SWEP,
SWPP.
SWEP,
Stormwater
stormwater
prevention?
Yeah, what that does is,
That's,
because we're trying to protect the environment, there are filter fabrics, things of that nature that are all in place.
Oh, okay.
That we-
I didn't know that was
That we
the
can't,
term.
that we can't remove
Until it's
until it's
done.
done,
Right.
right? So that would have, if those lots were held, all that stuff has to stay in place. Now, in the event of a deluge, a rain, it stops water from going in the storm drains. So that means water's gonna end up in people's driveways, in people's yards,
So
in
you have a
people's
safety
runoff
issue.
issues, right? So there are a lot of things to talk about here. I agree with what you're saying, and bear in mind, this board has done a tremendous job with 40Bs. So I'm not asking you to not do your job. All I'm saying is that I think condition 36 should have had a little more language in it to address situations like this where we have a developer who's gone way beyond
Exactly.
what the call of duty and now has lots in the remainder of the subdivision that all have value.
I think we should hold this particular subdivision, any subdivision that comes in should, like they said, hold their feet to the fire. This subdivision should be used as an example of what it should be like.
There you go.
Well, when it comes to bonding, they have their option.
Sure.
So, any future but without naming names, we all know of a project that we don't have the zero bond on.
But this situation is different.
Well, that's what
We-
it
we-
is.
We have a developer that's very close to completing the Pines. We get 4 house lots maybe left there.
46, yeah.
4, 6. And this phase 1 and 2 is almost completed. I understand why we put it in, but this is gonna be the first 40B that we're gonna see completed,
You don't know that.
along with the Pines. We can name all the other ones, in fact, we got one on the agenda that we're gonna talk about that's in trouble, but this is gonna be the first developer that came to this town on a 40Bs, that's, I honestly believe he's gonna complete the project.
Okay.
I'm willing to take the risk of releasing those lots in phase 1 and 2. I seriously think it's a safety issue. They can now work the other way, go left instead of right, going into that development, there's kids there. I wouldn't want those trucks, it's a little different when it's one house, but when you have those trucks, you get 3 or 4, you know.
It only takes
and
one.
the trucks are gonna be running all the time.
It only takes one.
It's a development that is geared for young families, people wanna hear that, but that's what it is. I bet you have a lot of young families, who
Yeah,
have
we
kids
do.
and everything else. I'd like to get phase 1 and 2, let them finish that
I agree.
project, let's hold more houses if we want on phase 3, 4, and 5. But let's give the opportunity for the developer to complete this project.
Until he proves different.
It's,
Jason, you're silent over there. Is it because you're not comfortable with this, or?
I'm not real privy to the whole,
Okay, the whole 40B.
well, no, not that, but this happened before I came onto the board, this
Okay.
whole development, so I'm trying to catch up and see what you guys are talking about, but,
Okay.
um,
Well, we need at least 2 lots then.
for these, I'm looking here at phase
So-
2,
So this was phase 1. You see-
right?
you've got 2
This is
lots.
phase
Yeah.
2.
Mhm.
All you got left
We're
is 2
holding
lots to
2 lots.
release.
Right. Okay.
Phase 1 and 2.
Right.
And we
This-
gotta
this
hold
is
some
Lots
lots.
11 and 48, right,
Now,
right.
may I ask you,
Including
since
the final
it
code on
it
this.
states that
Right.
38,000,
Three, 4, and 5
that,
are
why don't we-
respectively as we go.
yeah,
He's
why don't
already
we-
into this phase, we've released lots.
Jim
He's
talked to
already
Jason.
built
Okay,
lots.
good.
Correct.
Yeah. And I just
So we're all on the same page.
I want
Yeah.
everybody to hear
Yeah.
everybody's comments.
So they're saying, so she's saying
But we-
not to release these 2 lots.
He's
Right. And the reason she was saying it, because the condition specifically says that.
Right.
But the condition wasn't
Trench
meant
common
for a
sense.
developer who went ahead and put the rest of the road in
It's all
prior to
stubbed,
the
it's all stubbed
completing
up,
those,
ready to
right?
rock, it's all stubbed up, ready to
yeah.
go for the other
These
lots.
these lots are cleared
Yeah,
and
yeah, I do remember.
all the way down and
Absolutely.
around. I think there's just 2 or 3 lots that you have.
We
to
just
treat
left the
right.
ones behind the neighbor there, so that way,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
we're gonna
And
get
we're
to
not
them in a
talking
while, so we figured we'll leave
$38,000.
his trees up.
No,
$12,000 for the trees.
right.
The park is gonna be completed, it's 3, 4, and 5, it's 80% complete, it'll be completed when 3, 4, and 5 are being worked on, and that's another $5,000, so we're not talking.
So
So we're
I think
talking
we're
20,000,
20,000.
maybe.
So assuming let's take that discussion of which lots to release aside, let's stay with it for 1 second. If I come to you and I say I have $20,000 left to finish phases 1 and 2, can you release 1 lot for me? Would you do that or not? It's-
Release one lot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the 2 lots.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
I prefer if they're both.
Wait, no, I said that, let's put it on the table for, so that means there's one, let's say, for a second, you released 1 lot. So the other one, let's take that from here and put it anywhere you want, here.
Right.
And release these 2 and clean that up. So what I'm saying is, if you're in agreement, let's talk about phases 3, 4, and 5 for now, but, you know, what I'm proposing is whatever it is, that we need to leave for phases 3, 4, and 5, whatever that number of lots is, let's add another lot to it to cover phases 1 and 2, the 20,000 that's left.
Well, let's stick with the original formula,
Yeah.
which is, we can release those, I think the board's gonna be in agreement that we're gonna release the 2 lots.
Okay.
And we have to hold the 2 lots. I don't think there's a reason to go more.
I'm sorry, you have to hold?
We only have 2 lots then. There's only 2 lots.
Right.
Everything else has been released, my understanding. So we have 2 lots in phase 1 and 2.
And then we got, but then in phases 3, 4, 5,
That's,
That's different.
right.
we
that's
gotta
the-
take 2 of those lots in
Right,
replace
abso-
Wait,
of what
absolutely. If
we're
we
giving
release
up
these,
here.
absolutely.
But
And-
you'd
and-
only,
and
you
look
only
at
have
Rose's
to take
merit.
one,
Who's
because
wrong?
there's only 20,000 or 25,000.
Right, but
Each
we've
lot is-
gone always with the formula that the planning board had set up years ago, which is 1 plus an additional 1.
So
Gotcha.
you've asked
The
us a
cost.
question
Oh, yeah,
on that
sure.
1 lot. You want everything released 3, 4, and 5 except 4 lots, is that correct? Is that what you're asking
Yes, that's what I'd like.
for, and are you comfortable if we hold 6 lots instead of 4?
Well-
Phase 3, 4, and 5.
Well, actually, phases 3, 4, and 5, I'd like to release everything except 3 lots. And if you, I mean, whatever you want. If you want me to leave 6 lots, I'll leave 6, whatever you want, I'm okay with. But I would say, over $20,000 to hold 2 lots is a bit excessive, but if that's what
Yeah,
you want,
And how soon are you gonna be developing lot number 11?
right away. Actually, I have a building permit already filed, just
Because
putting it on
you still
hold
have
so
that
until it's released.
drive-through,
Right.
so-
I got the force
Right.
field on the door.
And I told Gil to make sure you know that we're not trying to pull a fast one. I just,
Right.
we're just filing it so when it's released.
Hold.
Now, let me ask you another question then. If we hold 5 lots in 3, 4, and 5, can they all be market lots?
Oh,
They
yeah.
all be market lots?
Well,
yeah.
I don't think
Two
you've
have to
held any
be-
affordables, because
No.
they're not worth anything to you.
Right.
Yeah.
2 have to be market rate.
but we can do more,
But you can do more.
and you're willing to give us more. on the market
Take
rate.
whatever you want.
Well,
Right.
give us
Well,
some.
there's 5 of
I was
us.
gonna say,
That's why we're here.
I think
Gotta
when
have
we
beach
said if
frontage.
there's 4 lots left,
I like you guys,
one
but get
could
the
be
houses
a
done.
4
Get
lot,
out.
we prefer that all 4 be market, which makes sense.
And I like the idea of you're not gonna have, closing this down and bringing the construction in from the.
Well, we
other.
already have signs
I-
made
I-
up, so
Right.
construction
This is
traffic
safe.
go this way, no more.
Because it only
It
takes
has
one
to.
mistake,
No, it
one kid in a
has to.
sled,
Right.
one kid in a
I was
bike.
that little boy who went and played on the piles next door, because it had dirt piles over
Right.
there, you know,
Right.
so.
Us too, you know?
Yeah.
That was another
Talk about
question,
last
is that all cleaned up?
Yeah.
Lot
All right,
11
guys,
needs to be a driveway into the other
Is
one?
there any more input from you, sir?
Yeah,
No, that's
Lot 11,
James?
right now there's a
Thank you.
pathway through that has some signs that say construction traffic only.
that's all gonna be eliminated.
That'll all be gone, right?
Greg, do you have any more questions?
Nope,
Bob?
no, I'm good.
Ken?
I'm all set.
Move forward.
Russ?
Done a great job.
Jason?
Nope.
Good work.
Okay. Then I want to entertain from one of the 3 members, Jason or Ken, and I'm going to just think about it for a second, how to word it, if you don't mind.
We're gonna need to know the number of the lots that we're gonna hold in 3, 4, 5.
Right, that's, what I'd like to write down.
establish that.
If you would like to,
We're
just,
going to,
what are the, two
Release.
additional lots?
11 and 48.
Correct.
Are gonna be released.
Yep, you get that, Russ?
Yep.
And then,
You've already got some
No.
lots already held, right?
No, 11's already,
A lot of.
11's already been released.
No.
No.
I'm not gonna hold
No,
five
we didn't do,
more.
we were going to do it.
You actually released it, but you held it back,
Yeah,
to
it was
release
going
it.
to be, then it got reversed.
and then, what do you guys wanna hold? Does everybody have the Stony Ridge in front of them?
Yep.
Jim,
Yes, I do.
you guys too?
Yes.
Okay, then what's everybody's opinion of what you wanna hold between, phases 3, 4, and 5? Keep in mind that, does everybody have the affordables marked on theirs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, then, keep in mind that, what is the number you guys wanna hold?
We're gonna hold 5. You
Okay.
wanted to hold 3, 4, and 5, and we're asking for 2 additional lots. He's in,
I'm okay
Mr.
with
Bishop.
Carry over from phase 2.
Okay, so we're holding 5
5 lots.
in sections 3, 4, or 5, 3 through 5. I'm gonna say that, if we're holding 5, 3 of those should be, market rate.
Let's have 5 of them, Mike.
Let's go with 5, I think.
You wanna go
from
5
my-
market rate, you don't care?
Yes, just
Then-
which numbers?
I would like to hear from you what you think are the best houses to release. in
To
the
hold, yeah, to
development
hold.
of the
If
house
I
and all
may,
that kind of stuff.
it would be, in my opinion, wise, these are the affordable ones. It would be wise to leave the last 5, or, you know, so what I would like to use to hold is lots 36, 38, 34, and these are the market rates.
What's 34?
I'm sorry, 40, I didn't mean 30.
Okay,
You don't mean 30, so you mean 40?
38, 38,
Okay.
6, 38, and 40.
yeah.
And in between them, these are affordable lots,
Yeah.
unbelievable. And then if I may, lots 33 and 35 as well.
33 and 30,
Correct.
you said 35?
Correct.
Isn't that a?
55, you mean?
Nope.
From
No,
here?
35 is,
Number 55.
55?
Okay.
But that's 59 over here.
Not number 35,
Oh, lot
lot
30?
35.
Okay.
These
He's
are
going by
lot
lots,
numbers.
because he doesn't have the
Okay,
number,
yeah.
right.
oh, I see,
Yep. So,
so,
lots 36,
okay,
38,
so it's not over here.
33, 35, and what was the last one?
These two, that's it.
No,
These
no.
3,
36, 38, and 40 lots, right?
yes,
Sorry.
and 33 and 35.
35.
This way, you know, we will not repeat this discussion, and we will finish everything in front of here. And then we're only left with this section of the road for later. I think that would be wise, but
And are you coming this way with your construction
yes,
now?
I am. Yes, I am. Actually, I have building permits before the building commissioner, now applications for like four lots here and lot 11 here, because I want to clean that up as we go.
And what are the house styles that are going in? You haven't sold them, right?
Well,
36.
yes, some are sold, some are not.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen any of
Yeah,
them.
some of them are for affordables and some are sold.
I'm trying to be ahead, the affordables, you know, we
Yeah,
have
you-
these two affordable.
okay.
I'm trying to be ahead of the game so
Yeah.
that, you know, I'm gonna be done with the affordables in the
Right.
next 6 months.
Okay, and what's left with, before, still open for the discussion, guys, I'm sorry, what's left for your recreation area?
Really, just a walk here and 4 or 5 benches, which we have them on site.
Yep.
Yeah, they
And-
weren't installed though.
No, they were
Right.
not installed, but we have them, we're gonna be installed, we just got them.
Is that
Yeah,
the number
yeah.
that we came up with?
I'm sorry?
13 benches is what you guys had
Yeah.
on there. We have 13 benches. As we are placing them, it seems like.
It's an overkill.
Right. So we'll put out the benches that seem appropriate, and then if, you know, we'll have the board go and look, and if they think.
And we're happy
should
to
be
donate
more.
benches to some park that.
Right,
You know what,
Yeah, right.
that's a great discussion
Yeah.
that we can have after we close this, no, let's have it now. 13 would definitely be overkill.
I think so.
When I was out there, I don't know if you guys have been out there too, it's plain right now, obviously. let's not decide on a number until
Right, I wanna
you
take
put them
a
out.
walk.
Yeah, we'll
Sure.
put some
I wanna
out.
take a walk.
What we think is neat and reasonable,
Right.
and then you can look out and say,
I
oh, we'd
think
like one or two
What
more.
we'll do is probably when the weather breaks.
Sure.
Schedule a ZBA meeting out there.
Sure. If
We can drive the whole lot, we can meet in
If
the
I may
park.
suggest to you, let's do, allow me to do what I think is appropriate, is pretty. We'll do it, and then you go out and you decide, no, you didn't do enough, or you did too much, or whatever, we'll adjust
Was
it.
any of the tree planting of those 40 trees or whatever I saw from Jim, from,
No, they were not in the park.
nothing was in the park?
And by the way, I mean,
Well, I can speak to that a little bit because I met with,
Sure, I'm sorry.
with
Yeah.
Peter
Tom
Williams?
Ferry for a while. And I met with Tom. Peter, on his original cost to complete, put up 80 trees. When we went through the permit, obviously it's per the tree warden, so we met with Tom, we set up a plan. Peter, I think, went with 80 because maybe that was shown in some kind of diagram, but there wasn't really a specification for how far apart they should be and how many and things like that.
Right.
So I think Peter went out, counted 50 trees, subtracted it from the 80 that he had initially just set.
Right, those tree count came from one of the initial, working sessions that we had, and you had them on an A-frame, and you had the chart up, and I think we just counted. So, the plan has changed since then, but, probably Peter Williams' count was never,
may I also add, just to bring your attention, the entrance here, I have like 20 trees that were not
Yeah.
called for,
Yeah.
that were extra, that were put in, and they're bigger and more substantial than the rest of them, so, and he didn't count those because they weren't on any plan. So, you know,
In my discussions with Tom Ferry, he was very specific about the separation distance he wanted between the trees.
Right.
For obvious reasons. So I'm not privy to what that original A-frame showed, but maybe there was a more condensed pattern on
it
the
wa,
trees.
well, yes.
Yeah,
How about
because it looks nice on a drawing, but it's not good in real life.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
the conversation we had with that retaining wall? Is that,
well, we're helping him, we bought for him fill enough. He's still staying on this side, and we're building a retaining wall for him. He's still
Okay.
staying on this side of the fence.
Of the buffer zone.
the buffer?
Yeah, so on
45
this side of the
right.
buffer zone, I'm sorry, yeah.
And you and I talked about the sign for
Yes.
out front. Do you wanna talk about it now, are you prepared, or you
Why
wanna
don't we
just?
resolve the issue on the lots?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Lump sum.
find out if we can, what we're gonna put together. There were issues that him and I talked about that I wanna try to get straightened out. All right, well, we can leave that sign for now.
I don't mind discussing, just, let's release the lots, let's hold whatever lots we wanna hold.
Moving right along, yeah.
It's kinda like-
What was the other conversation we had when we were out there? We talked about releasing the lots.
We've got the driveway issue too, is that on the agenda?
Yeah,
That's,
that's,
so that's been paid.
That's been resolved.
the berm.
Yeah.
I inspected it today.
Okay, then the motion, okay, I'm gonna, somebody make a motion to close, public input on this, please.
I'm gonna make a motion that we close the public hearing on this case.
And, all those in favor?
Alright.
Then the motion, Ken, if you want to, is that, the board has agreed to release lots 11 and 4, and,
Well, I'm gonna, make a motion that we release all the lots in this project with the exception of 33, 35, 36, 38, and 40. Can that be done? You're looking
There's two separate covenants, so we have to do the two lots
Okay, I'm gonna make a
separate.
motion then that we
release
release
lots,
11 and 40 in phase 1 and 2.
right,
11 and 42.
11, 48, 48.
Is that Form 1 already given
Yes.
to us? You
Yeah, I
that
have it.
form?
Yes.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
I apologize, Ken made the motion and Bob seconded.
I didn't say it, I'm not a voting member.
But,
I second.
wait,
No,
So I think,
Jesus,
I think we have to change it, because I think we have to, we just can't release it, we gotta hold some lots too.
Right, and then we're gonna make a motion to hold lots 33, 35, 36, 38, and 40.
Right.
Doesn't matter the phases. You wanna make that motion for all these?
Well, I'm confused now, because it mattered with the phases, now it doesn't matter with the phases, so.
Well, going by the lot numbers.
Yeah, we just released something without any condition that we hold a lot or two. In other words, we just released everything in phase one and two.
No, we didn't
without-
vote on that. We stopped that. All you voted on right now was releasing 11 and 48.
Right.
That's released. Now we're gonna vote to hold.
I feel uncomfortable that we're just releasing 1148 without a condition that we're holding two lots in phase 3, 4, and 5.
That's what you're gonna make the motion now?
Yeah, but I think it should all be one motion.
One motion?
That we release lots 11 and 48, and we hold lot 33 and 35 in phase
Oh,
3,
okay.
4, and 5.
Yep.
Let me see what,
All right, so the 33 and 35 are,
In lieu of 11 and 48.
okay, thank you.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second motion.
Any discussion?
yeah, hang on. I wanna read Margaret's opinion.
Yeah, 36, 38, 40.
We need one more lot.
What are they based on what though? Because if he,
Marguerite's opinion was to hold 4 lots for phases 3, 4, and 5. For the cost to complete. And then, so if we're giving up 11 and 48. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
yeah, but this, for phase 1 and 2, the cost to complete is 38,000, I think it's actually 20,000 or less. So we only need 2 lots for that.
Right.
And then when we get to the next one, we're releasing lots, if you think we should
I think you need
hold 4 lots instead of
1,
3
2,
more lots.
4, because she says we need to hold, we're to hold 4 for completing lots 3, 4, and 5. I mean, not lots, I'm sorry. for
What's the
phases.
cost to complete
You,
for 3,
you
4, and
guys
5?
do, you guys do the number
253,000.
plus one,
That
right?
would be,
Yeah.
So, but it's not phase dependent, so you'd hold, you know, however many lots for all the phases and then add one at the end.
No, it is phase dependent.
Okay.
Marguerite's opinion is to complete phases 3, 4, and 5. The cost to complete it is 253,000.
Correct.
And that would be 4 lots.
Okay,
So-
4 lots based on what value of a lot?
I don't know, she has it
Well,
down as
we use
253.
between
Right,
90
that's
and
3.
120.
Right, cause that's 3 lots plus one.
Plus one.
Right.
She has 253,000, so she's saying it's gotta be 4 lots.
Yeah.
It makes sense based on her formula, it does.
Right, so that's 4 lots.
4 lots,
But we're giving up 2, so you got a total of 6.
you need 6.
My only question is, that is 1 plus 1, and then you have 3 plus 1. Wouldn't it make sense to just do the 4 and
That's
then
fine.
plus?
Yeah,
Okay,
do the
that's
6.
all right. That's whichever.
You have another lot then? Well, let's finish this up.
Give me
Gotta
what-
come up with another lot for that
Yeah, no problem.
part of it. Any more discussion on that motion?
I'm sorry, Ken, what was your motion?
Motion was to release lot 11 and 48. In lieu of that, we're gonna hold, lot 33 and 35 in phase 3, 4, and 5. So we're holding 2 lots in phase 3, 4, and 5, and releasing the remaining lots in phase 1 and 2.
You can't release the remaining lots, we gotta hold them.
No, in phase 1 and 2, we're releasing all the lots. This is, we're only discussing phase 1 and 2. We're releasing all the 11 and 48, which completes all the lots in phase 1 and 2.
Right,
And we're holding 33 and 35.
right.
In the second,
In-
the other phase.
In lieu of.
In that, then we're gonna go to 3, 4, and 5, phase 3, 4, and 5, release all the lots and hold 4 lots.
Right.
It's two
So
separate,
you're
it's two
making two
separate,
separate motions.
right, so
Okay.
the first one is on
Yeah.
phase 1 and 2.
Okay, so then,
Any more discussion?
no.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No opposed, it passes. So you have that, Ross?
I do,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so now, we need one more lot.
Now, I'd like to make a point here, or a question. Is it fair to keep holding the value per lot the same, even though, I mean, the value really is more than, close to twice the number you're holding, oh,
What is it you feel the price of the lot is right, and the value of the lot right now?
the price of the homes that are selling there justifies a value of the lot of 170. Okay, but let's take whatever lot is selling in town, whatever, at the,
I understand what you're saying, but just a minute
The
ago,
four-man
you said
lot.
you didn't care what we held.
I still
So-
don't, but.
So what?
No, okay, take six, but let's
Okay.
agree on changing the value of the lot. And I think,
I hear what you're
As
saying.
progress goes, well, you come in, if your progress is right, it's the same as
That's
it's been,
fine.
there won't be a problem. We'll just
All right,
release
so
the
you want-
lot.
you
And not only that, in phase 1 and 2, you got
I'm
20,000
good,
dollars
I'm
to
good.
complete, no, but we're holding 2 lots.
Right.
You know, so I mean, that's
Way
overkill,
lopsided.
that's overkill.
right,
So you
I
get
think we're
those two.
beating this to death.
I don't
I'm
mean to
okay with
interrupt,
that.
But yeah, you finish phase
I
1 and
honestly
2, you
do.
get those houses built, you come in, you get 2 lots.
no problem.
So.
Okay, pick one more lot.
One more lot is lot 32, please. Again, in keeping with trying to keep everything
Yep.
together.
And it's a market, a lot.
That is market lot, yes.
Okay,
All the 6 that you're holding are market rate. Right.
okay, Ken, wanna make a motion?
I'm gonna make a motion that we release all the lots in phase 3, 4, and 5 with exception of lot 32, 36, 38, and 40. It's the lot numbers, not the numbers that have been assigned, those circle lots, but the lot numbers.
Yep.
Those-
And I, second that. All in favor? Oh, no discussion,
Any
right?
discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So do we need new form ones to be,
No, it's blank.
It's blank, so if you wanna write on it here, I can go type it up on the computer, if you just,
Well, I'm gonna have everybody sign up while they're here, so,
alright, let me go type those numbers in while you.
but now, I know, Bob, you want to move on, but this makes the Pines
You know which one
easy,
is which?
because it's the same thing.
phase 1 is for phase 1 and 2.
I don't wanna move on. What do you think I'd be, I'm gonna be home with
So
Joy.
are we all done with the discussion of Stony Brook fences? We answered that.
No football game.
Well,
Are we going to the Super Bowl?
here's a quick question about Stony Ridge. We have not allowed signs, well, the covenant says there is no sign to be placed in the front, that the construction sign that's up there temporarily can come down. If you remember,
3, 4, and 5.
Fisher came to us early on and asked if we would be willing to put up, or if he could be allowed to put up a sign just slightly larger than what would be authorized, and we had said no. We had said no for a number of reasons.
Yeah, I think I was in favor of it, but you're right there.
And if you notice, next to Reese's gas station, that project that's going in has a sign. The Apple Orchard has a sign, and with the tremendous job that's going on here, I think we should let him come back with pictures of the sign that he would like to have, asking for a,
I think those two you mentioned were planning board ones.
yeah, those are
Yeah,
plenty.
there's a third, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, there is a third, Cedar Estates, which is Wellington Acres now, that's a planning board subdivision, they also have a sign.
They have a sign too.
Yeah.
So, obviously, it doesn't have to be tremendous, but I think this year, just because you've done such a great job, if you wanna come back with those original ones that you had and let the board take another look at it, you're gonna be here
Sure.
Thank you.
again.
You're all right with that.
There is, the berm was taken care of.
Peter, can I ask a
Jim
question
said
about,
that the beer was taken care of.
You have,
the question I'd like to ask is, on this, like, the issue of the signs,
yes.
if we were to, you see you're gonna come back, if you come back, do we stay for the same size as what the, planning board has done? Or do we have to hold a public hearing as to get the neighbors' input on something like this? Because it is a variance, am I right? Or it's a special permit.
Well, he's gonna, no, he's gonna, I'm assuming you're gonna ask for a variance of the size that is allowed now?
Yes.
Which is, how many square feet, 27?
Yeah, it's
No.
like 3 by 5, so, yeah.
So you're gonna ask for a variance of that, or you're gonna stick with that?
I really don't remember what I asked for. If I
Okay.
may, let me go,
Isn't that,
refresh my memory with my
didn't we go with a
notes.
special permit, it's not a variance on that other sign, was that?
You're gonna have a special permit,
Okay,
but if
that's-
the sign is gonna be large, so that's
Right.
one. But then you also have to have a special permit if the sign is going to, I'm sorry.
Larger than a certain.
Special permit for the sign, a variance if the sign is gonna be larger.
Right, that's what I wanted to clear up, so you
But
know.
I don't
Right.
think he ever came,
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure though, does it have to be published and all that, or we have to vote whether or not that's substantial or not,
Right.
right? And if we vote that it's not substantial, then he
Then
can
we
come
just-
before us, but he doesn't have to notify all the
Correct.
others from.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they stay with the same size as these other ones, the planning board must have had something to base their,
Well,
without getting a variance.
yeah, I think it would be wise to try to stay consistent.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can report to the board the size of the ones that are
Right,
throughout
good.
town.
Good, good.
okay, let's move to the Pines, which is, relatively easy to. Now, when we drove through the Pines, it was the gentleman with the bush that we have to talk about.
Well, that's in front of Stony Ridge.
Oh, that's in front of Stony
Yep.
Ridge.
Yep.
There's an issue.
I have an update.
Oh, okay, oh, good.
I received a call from the property owner today. She called me to inform me that she would allow the bush to be moved in the springtime, not now, because it will die if we move it now. So I just had a little sidebar with Fisher, and he's agreed to move it in the springtime,
Okay.
so. So I
And,
think
and now in
he
the
was
winter
probably-
time, it hasn't grown in, so you can see much more
Right.
clearly
You
than
see
you
through
can
it,
in the
right.
spring.
So I think that'll be resolved come springtime, and I assured her that I would be part of the process. We'd meet out there, everybody would be in agreement, and we'd move it, so.
Have her call you and remind you, that's all. What can you do?
Roz, do you have the right one? Do you have the right form?
Yep, thank you.
The right map and lot?
September of 2016 is for phases 3, 4, and 5,
Yep.
and it says map 12, lot 1A. Is that what you have?
Pines is map 5.
No, that's fine.
Aren't we on
No,
Stony?
right, Stony's on
Yeah.
plot, right. That's the concern, is that we're,
Oh, Pines
mix
is
up
on
the
map
paper.
5?
Yeah.
I thought all of that side was
or
map
it's,
12.
it's map 12,
for Pines
lot
and-
5.
Oh, lot,
Yeah.
lot.
So is that okay?
Yep.
See, I would've never known that. But they, that,
Well, I noticed that they had put map 120, and I know that our maps didn't go up to 120, so. I'm gonna do diligence today.
I'm glad.
Bob, we're gonna do the Pines.
All right, I don't know what you're.
Three voting members for the
It's gonna be
Pines.
16-16, is it C?
16-16 right here?
Yep.
Okay. Same three members?
It's up to you.
Well, you guys are much more familiar with it than I am.
Okay, then it'll be the
You too,
same
right?
three.
And I'd like to get Jason down the end here to get a little more input as to what we're doing here.
Bishop, obviously everything is the same, but you're requesting lots 16, 17, and 18, correct?
That is correct.
Do you have any other input? Do you wanna go over the, we don't have a,
You have a
Cost.
You do have a cost.
is the discrepancy on that?
Not really,
No, and I think it
small amounts.
Small stuff?
Right.
Yeah. We should, yeah.
What are concrete bounds?
Say that again, please?
Concrete bounds,
Those are concrete property marker bounds.
expensive, $400 a piece?
They're not.
They're not, but they're not, but they are expensive, they're close to 100 apiece.
Right.
Yeah.
With installation
You gotta
and
install.
transportation and stuff
Yeah.
by the time
Oh,
you're
is
done.
that a total unified cost?
Yeah.
There's one in each corner, that's 4 corners, that's $400.
They're gonna be installed.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in now, they're going in now.
They're going in now.
They should be there.
So those, right. So those are going in now, the drainage swales, I spoke with the
Are all in.
engineers. They're, 2 out of 3 are in, he's got the whole amount, he just hasn't verified them. But, there are 3, one on the north, one on the central, and one on the south side of the property. And the north and central ones are in. But, those are the 2 big items.
You didn't give me cost to complete though, right?
Um,
I have Peter Williams, but I don't have one from you.
oh, I did not,
Okay.
Because I only received the cost complete from Peter like 2 days ago.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
No problem.
Well, do you wanna see it now and study it?
No,
or-
I saw it.
No, we
Okay.
have it.
It was written December 15th.
This is, again, with the trees. Did you see this one too?
I
Tom
did,
Ferry?
and Tom Ferry had much more to say about this one.
Right. This is the one I questioned him
Right,
about where to put them and.
right,
to
so,
complete.
Got it?
So-
I didn't have it. It's all right, though.
Okay. Whenever you guys are ready, what are you looking for? Okay.
I wasn't sure.
This right here.
Cost of the week.
We're looking for the cost to complete.
Yep.
It's in there, in that packet.
Right now, we're talking about, a letter dated 8/10, from Tom Ferry, and this is concerning the pines and the tree planting.
okay.
And again, Jim is gonna speak on behalf of Tom.
Do you wanna read his letter?
Sure, if you want me to.
Sure.
After reviewing the project on site, with Mr. Kelly of Stonebridge Homes, I didn't realize that was your name, guys. I would like to recommend that the trees be planted where possible, 40 feet apart, both sides of the roads. For example, minus driveways and utility access. The site of road where there is a sidewalk planned, it is my understanding that there is 1 foot of grass strip planned. I would like the grass strip to be considered removed or eliminated to allow the planned sidewalk to be installed against the berm. Be considered removed or eliminated is the same, I guess. Then a tree planted directly behind the proposed sidewalk, thus allowing more aesthetic look. Trees should be 3-inch caliper minimum and a variety to be a Bradford pear or equivalent. Please contact me with any questions, and it's signed by Mr. Thomas Ferry, the tree warden for our town. Just a 1 foot wide path is all we had,
Right,
which makes no sense to
No.
me. And,
It was 1 foot strip of grass, not a sidewalk. The sidewalk will be the right size.
right,
Right,
but,
right.
So you
only
can't
one-
I
maintain
think
it,
it
it's
ended
too
up being
much.
2 feet.
No,
I
no.
think it ended up being 2 feet.
is that,
But it's
So-
really something you don't need to maintain. Make it-
Let's hear what Tom Ferry's.
So the problem that came about was that when Peter Williams became privy of this letter and Tom's feelings about it, the two of them conversed. The berm for the sidewalk or the edge of the roadway was not conducive with what should be there by having a sidewalk adjacent to the road. So when Tom was notified and told, we can't eliminate the 1 foot buffer, there's a reason the sidewalk is set back, or else we have to go back and change the curb line, et cetera, Tom said, okay, but I do not want the trees planted in that 1 foot area, for obvious reasons. So he met with the developer, they moved the trees on the back side of the sidewalk, which also helped, according to Tom Ferry, eliminate any problems with utility infrastructure, so the trees won't be near the utilities. So it was a win-win situation.
okay,
Now, according to Tom, the trees have been put in with the exception of the driveway locations, with the exception of one area. He asked the developer not to plant trees in a wooded area by the entranceway on the way in. And the reason he asked for them not to be put there, this is as you drive in on the left-hand
left side.
side, we have mature trees there. It's a virgin forest. So there was no, the trees would actually hinder the growth of the newly planted trees. And in his opinion, he'd rather have the virgin forest stay healthy and not put any encumbrances on it with new trees. So he asked the developer to not put trees in that area.
So these trees now, I think I sent the thread of emails, far enough away from the sidewalk that they're not going to, again, same root system, not gonna hinder the
Right.
sidewalk, and they're not gonna crack the
Right,
sidewalk.
right.
They now become the homeowner's responsibility.
In some cases, yes.
In some cases,
No.
no, okay?
It all depends on where the line of trees ended up. It's not consistent throughout the project, which Tom Ferry also addressed with me. He understands that. Therein lies the issue. What, you know, is there a problem with that? Is there not a problem with that?
Well, in no cases would it be the town's responsibility, because the
It's
road
accepted
is a
road.
private way, it says homeowners association.
Right.
Either the owners or homeowners association's responsibility.
Right, but here's what typically happens. Storm, branch falls, we get the call.
Sure.
That's why, can we make them all far enough away from the road? And I think this is what I had said to Tom in the emails. I think you responded to it, and I think Tom did too. I think I sent it to you, Ken. Is it possible now so that they're all far enough away from the road so that, you know, I know 20 years from now, it's not gonna matter, it's gonna fall on the road, but, is that a bigger inconvenience?
To replant them,
Oh, they're already all in?
they're all in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then-
How far back from the sidewalk are they?
I think they vary from the sidewalk itself.
From the backside of the
Just a
sidewalk?
few feet. But I believe the property line stopped 6 or 7 feet from the curb line.
Owen?
What? 7 feet
Property
each
line
side,
stopped 6 or 7 feet from the edge of the curb. The,
Yeah, it's different on each side, so it's like, there's only a foot from the sidewalk, yeah, so 7 feet.
yeah,
On the left-hand side, I think the other side it might be 8 feet because the
Right.
utilities
Okay.
run down there.
right.
Uh,
So most of them are really on the homeowners.
On correct, and I
Right.
believe, I'll go check, but I believe because of that, we put them all outside. We pushed the ones on the right outside the property line too, for that, so that way it would all be the same.
Okay.
But I'll go and confirm that.
Isn't the
So-
town thing, if it hangs over, once it grows and hangs over the street, becomes a responsibility?
If it's a public way.
But it's
In
not.
this
This is a
particular
private way.
case, it's not going to be. Now, who knows?
What's
We may
gonna
end up
happen?
accepting it down the road sometime. I understand that. But for right now, I
You
would
can't do
agree.
much about
It's
that.
either a homeowner's problem personally or the association's problem. And with respect to the comment that the chairman made, because emergency personnel have to get through these subdivisions, if there's a down tree or a down limb, we're taking care of it, no matter what.
You may
When
send a
have-
bill, will you send
We
a
may,
bill?
but yeah, but we take care of it,
We certainly could if it was that much of a bill, that certainly.
sure.
Well, like if for some reason the homeowners association didn't plow their roads, and the homeowners kept complaining to the town plowed it.
Yeah.
The town's gonna send a bill to the homeowners
And
association.
we've done that.
Yes, we should.
We do, right, right.
And we still have the 1 foot strip of grass in between
We do.
You
the
do.
berm and
We
the
do.
sidewalk.
We do, because we did not want to alter the gutter line of the street, it was already approved, accepted, so,
thing.
in order to satisfy the safety requirements of the pedestrian walkway, it had to stay that distance back.
Really hard to maintain.
Yeah, it is,
1 foot strip? You run the lawnmower down.
I have the.
just ends up all
Town's
crap.
not
right?
gonna-
Before we,
Just right
sign
around my
off on
house, it's
this,
so
project,
unsightly.
we'll let you know so that you can put in the homeowners association, what the bills are from the town. Because, I think, what did we say when we did across the street, when it was 4 inches, we were gonna plow?
We have plowed.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, it was, Dayton Woods.
St. Woods.
And we sent them a bill for 400 and change, so.
Well, right now, there is a contract with the homeowners association and a person
Who
who
plows?
actually, an abutter who came to the hearings, Jeff
Yeah.
Demento.
Right.
But you're responsible right now, aren't you responsible?
Well, right now, what I'm doing is I'm paying for all the lots in the subdivision into the homeowners association. I'm
And then
paying
the
the
home-
normal fee.
Right.
All these lots, whether they're sold
Oh,
or
I see,
not,
I see, I see. Yeah,
whether
your
they're
point,
sold or not,
okay.
they're paying into the homeowners association.
And they get the bill.
And then they
it's
get
your
the bill
money.
and then they pay.
That's your money. okay.
Right.
Okay, and the other letter that's here is dated the 15th, 2015 is, and I don't know why it's necessarily here. It's just to the from the water board saying that, the lines have been connected.
Well, because there was
issue.
a line item on the cost to complete by Peter Williams,
Yep.
that he put a line item on the water line, so I asked him to please verify that.
Oh, okay. But that was addressed to,
We actually moved it,
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
that was addressed to Owen.
yeah.
Right.
Then,
I think I
now,
called to ask.
okay, so what is it that you wanna release?
I would like to release
Mr.
lots. Right now, lots 16, 17, and 18, and leave lot 20.
We're gonna leave, 2 lots. So how many lots do you have
Right now,
tied up
four,
right now?
four lots are
Tied, that we still,
that are not released. I would like to have 3, but,
Marguerite's recommendation is that we hold
you hold how many?
2.
Okay. This is where the discussion of the value
Yep.
is of value.
Of value, more value than the last time, okay, go
Right.
ahead.
Because I believe whatever value she's using on the lot is really, a value of 6 years ago. What's called Naughty Pine Estates?
Yep.
and They're selling it for 180, okay? And they can't keep, there's only 4 left.
Right.
So I mean, 90 is I think is not really fair. And I think, to be still very conservative and the town is very protected, like 130, I think is a fair number, or 125 is still a very conservative number.
And then you're taking the plus one anyway.
Right, isn't it? The cost to complete plans is 123, so. Yeah, according to Marguerite, according to Peter Williams,
122.
123.
123,000.
Yep.
And we're basing the lot formula at a value of 90 to 120,000.
Right.
So therefore, in sticking with, again, because of the bond situation, it would be 1 lot, which you're saying is 130, plus 1 more.
So,
So 2 lots.
right, so we released 2 lots. When those 2 lots are completed, you come back before us, you'll have more of the cost to complete paid or completed?
What I'm gonna do is, because it sounds like even if I have $1,000 left, we're gonna hold 2 lots. Because 1,000 for the 1 lot, plus 1 more.
Well,
Right.
you know what, it's,
No,
in all fairness, we're sticking with the
I
same thing we've
understand.
done with everybody.
Right, no,
But
that-
your
right.
bond is
And-
unique.
Right.
If I may interject, I think there might be a crossroad where you come to the end of this project, you may have to bond.
I understand.
with the cost of
Well, there will
complete.
be, because it's gotta be for a
When-
year.
When it comes, that's what I was
Right,
trying to
right,
say.
right, yeah.
When it comes down to that, when there's 1,000 left, I'll give you the 1,000,
Right.
you release the 2, I'll finish everything, and then I'll get the 1,000 back.
Plus interest.
No,
Keep that.
Hold it for a year.
we hold it for a year,
You can
so
do that.
it doesn't, I understand where you're going.
But
So,
that's what I'm trying to minimize that bond.
absolutely. So let's pick 16, 17, 18. You have to,
Okay, if you want to hold 2, hold 18 and 20, and release 16 and 17. Again, I want it to be as much in a row as
so you wanna
possible.
hold 18
And 20.
and 20.
That's the
And
hold,
release-
that's the hold, right? And then release 16 and 17.
Correct.
Are they market rate?
Yes, they're all market rate.
19's in the.
All the non-market rate, the affordable ones have been released, and by the way, they will be all finished within the next 3 months. The only one that's not built yet is this one,
Because of the
because I
connection.
wanted to keep the connection, but now when
18, 20.
when now
Right.
lot
Just
11
give
is
me release
released, I'm
16
gonna be
and
building these
17.
two, and all the affordables will be done.
Okay.
What's the cost of it? About 200,000, 206, something like that.
Okay, Ken, or,
I'm gonna let Jason make
well,
the motion.
any more input from,
No,
the audience members?
All set, thank you.
does the board have any more input?
I have a question.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be holding affordable lots, correct?
Right.
No, you can. You shouldn't. You
Because,
should release.
This form here is saying lot 19, is that what you want us to hold? Is an affordable lot,
There was a switch at one point
so that's
Yeah.
of an
eliminated.
affordable because of where the water line needed to go.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, because there's an easement
Kenny
there.
did that.
Right.
all right.
Swap.
Okay, so we're good. Alright, I'm all set.
Okay.
Bob, anything?
No, we're good.
No,
Ken?
nothing.
Ross?
Thank you.
You're just here for,
So we need a motion to
and
close the public
Jason?
hearing.
So I make the motion to release.
No,
lot-
you're gonna make a
what's
motion
it?
first to
Public,
close the
uh,
public
I can't
hearing.
hear.
I'll
We're gonna
second
close
it.
the public, make a motion to close the public hearing on this case.
Okay, I make a motion to close the public,
I'll
close the
second
public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, now you're gonna make a motion
Okay.
to, we're releasing all the lots with the exception of 18 and 20,
Correct.
right?
Release is 16 and 17 and holding 18 and 20.
Correct. That motion's been made.
I'll second it.
Kenny seconding that motion? No discussion? Or hearing no discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Piece of cake.
So, gentlemen, let's do this to wrap it up tonight. You're all set?
Thank you very much.
If you wanna come back with signs, the berm was taken care of, the trees were taken care of. We can talk park benches next time after you set it up. Cause you might even find you want them along the road in your own, especially along that entrance, it's so nice. James, I don't think there was any other issues with,
No, the Bush thing was resolved today via phone call. I didn't expect it. so-
yeah, that's great, because I thought we were going out to visit.
Yeah, I didn't even call her, so.
Oh, it was out of the blue today.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
that solves a big issue, because that was gonna be a
Who's gonna die if you know?
Roz is gonna type that, and, that will be all set,
And
so.
is there any, a notary here now?
No.
Oh,
okay.
it's all right, I'm a notary, but I don't have my stamp, but I can come back with it.
If you sign it tonight,
Oh, she's here tomorrow.
You
Okay.
should.
Perfect, yeah, I'll swing back.
and then you can
Yeah,
pick it
okay.
up.
Then I'll make it up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I should have thought about bringing it.
Have a good holiday.
Thank you, you too.
All right, guys, thank you.
Good
We're
job.
gonna move on, we don't have much
All right.
left.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jessica.
Yeah, you're going away.
Thank you very
right?
much.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. You're looking great.
Thank you.
Why did you put ornamental pear trees and not real pear trees?
This is ornament.
Yeah, but why not the
You
real?
going first?
Why don't I?
People can-
Because
I
that's
think
what,
there's
that's
I think
what.
a lot of our
Did he
runs
tell you
is-
to put
Yeah,
ornamental?
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah,
wanted.
right, because you're away. Yep.
Ornamental
Yep.
tree,
That's all right.
pear
Uh,
trees, the
There's one lot
roots.
that
it's
Sheila had mentioned was getting
No, they
insulated.
go deep, not this way.
We have one lot.
And they have,
Insulating.
like I was saying, those
Should be down around
suckers, they're like
Yeah,
hair-like.
yeah.
And so that prevents them from going this way.
They're not-
and sucking
those
up
aren't
water.
native.
Trying to get, it's the one with
Right, they're not.
the gussets.
You know what took over something in this thing?
Thank you.
Oh, and have a nice holiday, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.
This autumn, autumn, on 495.
James, we had an issue with William Street in that garage,
And I'll get it.
and I take full responsibility for it, because typically when, and this is for the whole board,
Yep.
when something comes in, I go over every page before I let Roz continue with it. And I should have caught that it's a freestanding garage, and I didn't, I just assumed it was attached.
Okay.
When it's attached, it's a variance. When it's a freestanding structure,
It's an accessory structure.
it's a special permit.
Okay.
So, guys, I apologize because it cost us a bit of money. Fortunately,
We're just gonna whip this, that's all.
Well, but I've been sending a lot of people to the board for,
yeah,
you know, so.
Oh, yeah,
I've been bringing a lot of
giving us
people
the
to
business.
board,
So, gentlemen, nothing changes. The argument doesn't change. Everything is the same. It's just two different applications.
Same people vote.
We asked to receive a letter from the applicant just to rescind their previous application, which they did. And then it's just necessary to, because they rescinded it, we don't have to do anything. Now it's just making a motion and accepting it. But again, free structure as opposed
Do
to.
we have to read the,
I'm going to read it because it was a new public hearing notice. So this is concerning 1571 William Street, Dayton. This is the legal notice that appeared in the Taunton Gazette Town of Dayton Board of Appeals hearing, Dayton Town Hall, 979 Somerset Avenue, December 21st, 2016 at 7 o'clock. Notice is hereby given that the Dayton Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, December 21st, 2016 at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Dayton Town Hall, lower level, 979 Somerset Avenue, Dayton, Mass. 02715 on the application of Robert Coster, President, RMC Construction, on behalf of Timothy Daniels, owner of a property located at 1571 William Street, shown on Assessors Map 12, Lot number 40, for a special permit pursuant to sections Articles 2700 and 2720, Appendix B of the Dayton Town zoning bylaws, in order to issue a special permit to allow the existing foundation for a proposed freestanding garage, which is 10.6 feet from the side setback, and is signed by the Zoning Board of Appeals. And that's it. Anybody have any discussion?
The voting members are Bob Adams, Ken Pacheco, and Jason Quinn.
Okay, so will one of those members make a motion I'm gonna,
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
there you go, thank you.
I'm gonna make a motion to, no discussion?
No?
No.
No, Bart's not voting. I'll make a motion to, close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor? No
Aye.
discussion, all in favor? Then,
I'll make a motion that we approve the special permit on case number 14-16.
I'll second.
right, all given the same reasons. Roz, where's the application, did you type up the, decision?
No, I haven't. I wasn't sure if Marguerite needed something because she didn't give me.
No, she wouldn't have given you one yet, okay, because, just in case. I want to discuss three things. Stonegate Landing revolving account, and are we going to do approve minutes, so 4 things. Besides the minutes, Ken, you had questions about it that you were talking to Roz prior to the meeting?
Yes, has that been correct, and the
Did you
minutes?
come up with anything else?
I did not, I don't know if anybody
Oh,
else did.
what's that?
Okay, so it's got to be reprinted and,
Yep.
Just
and
that page,
signed.
page 2, right?
Yeah.
Just page 2.
Then the next thing is going to be the revolving account. Here's what has been happening for years, I guess, in existence. Somebody comes in and pays the application fee to us. The applicant pays the postage and the Taunton Gazette. And as well as you know, from the past, they've always paid for the written decision. Joe Pacheco, as the chairman for all those years, was able to get people who, even when we denied them, to pay for the written decision, which is, to me is mind-boggling. We decided that, as you remember, a year ago, to change our fee structure, and instead of having the applicant pay for the individual decision written by Marguerite, that the money for the application would go into our account, and we would pay Marguerite out of the professional technical account. That way, if there was a decision that was negative, we were asking the applicant, they basically had already paid for it with the application fee. I guess there's been some issues with the town accountant. I think there's some animosity going on, and I don't know why, but I want to set it up as a revolving account. This way, the money can go in from the applicant, and the money can come out to pay Bob Gay / Marguerite. I don't know, Roz, are we taking a vote on this to say we are going to, or we want to set up a revolving account? I don't know what the accountant is necessarily looking for.
I think we need to have a meeting first with the accountant, and I know that Nancy Gould, I wanted to meet also. Whether it should be you or both of us, I don't know if we have to post it, if it's both of us, I'm not sure, but I would like to attend that, just to find out the mechanics as to how to do it, and then we can come back to the
Well, I
members here.
don't mean to be disrespectful, but didn't we already have this discussion?
We did. Here's what the accountant wants. Do you remember our application fee was $250? That $250 initially went into free cash. So
I understand, yeah,
her
we had
opinion
this-
is, she wants $250 of our $700 application fee to still go to free cash, and then the rest to go into the revolving account.
That is not reasonable.
It is when you think, why should that 250 go to free cash when we might have a $1,000 bill from Marguerite on a decision
Well,
because.
in the past, haven't they always paid all of our other expenses anyway for the zoning board? Isn't
No,
like
it all
the
comes
planning
out
board?
of our
They-
budget.
Right.
Okay,
The townspeople
we
vote
pay-
on your budget.
Right. So you, what we're saying is you wanna have this, the whole amount go into it?
We wanna have
Well, what
the whole
happens to it at the end of the
700.
year if we don't spend the money? Where does it
Goes
go?
to free
Goes to
cash.
Okay,
free
then
cash.
what's the problem then?
Well,
I
that's-
understand the question, but I don't understand the problem.
I don't either. And, when was this meeting?
I don't mean to be disrespectful.
Well, no, you're
It's
not being
just a-
disrespectful. I have
confusing to
questions
know.
about it too. I,
Department head meeting, not the last one, wasn't the one
the
before that.
one that you were, yeah, right.
Yeah, the one that I attended, and Jen and I and Nancy, Goulart, the select board, had a discussion about it. She suggested that we set up a meeting to resolve it, so that was a couple of
Okay.
months ago, but there is, Jen is now saying that, what you're saying basically is that we can put some money in the free cash, and the rest of it can go into some kind of account that we can pay our bills.
Right.
My conversation with her months ago was that all the money had to go into that free cash. So in other words, with depleting, every time we have a decision, fortunately this year we haven't had as many as normally, but that account now is being depleted, and what is the balance of that account roughly, right now, that,
Professional technical,
4,000 and change?
is it less than that, or?
no, I don't think
No?
it's that.
So, I don't understand why anything should go to free cash. James, you take in an application, your account goes into?
No, all of my money goes into the general fund. I just happen to run in the green because I run it like a business. Now, if I can comment on what you're talking about, you said in your discussion what the problem was. The problem is you have to try to budget for the unknown.
Right.
The unknown is how many applications will we take in? If you have a stellar year, then where there's lots of growth, you're gonna run your professional technical into the red. The purpose of a revolving account is to eliminate that.
Right.
A revolving account means you take in the funds, it stays within that fund, and then you can now pay your expenses associated with the intake. So revolving accounts, though, in government are somewhat complicated. That's why Mrs. Goulart's getting involved, and that's why the town accountants get involved. The revolving
planning board
account
Does that?
won't be set up just by an act of this board. There are other processes that you need to go through,
Yep.
okay? This board will ultimately be responsible for the funds that are in it, but it is a catch-all to your problem.
Right.
You won't have to worry about running out of money midstream as long as you set your application fees to cover your expenses, which you've done. So,
To a certain extent,
right,
because.
it won't cover your entire budget.
Right,
No.
but if we don't get enough in professional and technical fees budgeted
Right now,
right now,
Right.
then we're going to run, that money's gotta come from somewhere.
right.
That won't happen if we have a revolving
It will
account.
not happen. You will still have your other line items in your budget.
Payroll
Right.
and whatnot, that's fine, but,
But your decisions,
Right.
anything associated with what this board conducts can come out of that
Right.
revolving fund.
so what is the purpose of the accountant wanting $250?
I can't speak for her. My only guess is that we count on a certain amount of local receipts to match, to make our marks for our budget, our total budget. So if you were gonna reduce that amount of money coming into the general fund, then we need to make it up somewhere else.
Okay, so then at the end of the town fiscal year, if we are in deficit for professional and technical, we gotta get that money back
from,
I completely agree. It'll
Free
be
cash.
transferred from, it'll be transferred probably first from another account, someone who has a surplus in an account.
well, that would be the
Right.
first,
Right, first step.
hopefully the first
Right,
option.
Right. You know, revolving accounts, I don't know where they originated, but this is sort of like the poster child for why we need a revolving account. Because you don't know how many
We
applications
got
you're gonna
16 this
process.
year.
Right,
The town can't depend on the funds for 16
right.
applications.
Well, it's hard to write a budget that way.
Really?
You know, it's hard to develop a budget for what you do. So if I was in control of the budget, I probably would have suggested a revolving account a long time ago.
Well, also what comes from that is when we have a challenge, like we have right now. It's gotta come out of that, and we don't know how far we're going to take it.
Right,
And at some point, if we deplete that account, I have to say, well, we're not gonna take it any further,
right,
which is not,
In the interest of the town.
right, right,
but if that's the case, why, you know,
sure.
if anybody appeals it, then
Sure. I believe the planning board has a revolving account set up for some of their workings.
they do.
Which is exactly why this board probably should have one.
Right.
So,
They're allowed to keep their money in their bills and bills. What account is
right.
that?
And I'm not so sure, I don't know all the logistics of a revolving account. At the end of the year, I think you have the choice to either turn it into free cash or roll it over into the next fiscal year. So,
That's what they've
so-
done in the past.
right.
They've accumulated lots of money.
Right, so that may be something that this board wants to explore, so if you have a surplus this year, you can carry it over into the following year. And if you have something where you need extra legal advice or something of that matter, you have a small nest egg. What it does is it takes the burden off the taxpayer's back,
Right.
which is exactly how I run my office. Everybody that walks into my office should be responsible for paying their way.
Right,
There should be no reason why you should have to pay for his building permit.
right.
Absolutely.
And that's why I've run my office the way I had, and it's been so successful.
And
So,
that has
uh,
always been, like when Joe and I have always talked about it, I didn't mean to interrupt, I'm
No.
sorry. When he has said he had no problem going to
Right,
X, Y, Z and saying, no, you have to pay.
Right.
But there are a few bills that have not been paid because people have said, no, I'm not, you can't make
Sure.
me pay.
Sure.
And the town has not done anything to collect those
Sure.
funds.
so I think it would be prudent for one or two of the board members, I think two board members to sit down with Selectman Goulart and the town accountant and hash out the details in setting up a revolving account. I think you would be doing the townspeople a justice,
Right.
because every applicant who comes before this board would pay their way. And that funds would be used to pay their bills.
This, and I don't mind saying this while we're on its public input, and while the camera is rolling, there's something going on, like I said, with the town accountant. And I think part of it is, one, she doesn't even live in the town. So she might not care if you as a taxpayer has to pay for my application, or part of my application, because it's not coming from, there's no incentive as a town employee to be concerned as much about the taxpayer. Just from her demeanor, when I speak with her, and others have spoken with her, there's like this constant anger, and I don't know where it comes from. So I'm gonna recommend to put into this conversation, and that Ken and I meet with the accountant and the selectman Goulart, and, or one of the selectmen, and determine and resolve this issue. But I think we should go forward as a board saying, we want the revolving account.
I agree.
Because if it's our responsibility at the annual town meeting to say, this is,
If we can be.
we need money because we can't pay our bills, we can justify it.
I think we need some information though before we go to that meeting. We need to know how much this costs us. How much we've collected this year
Typically.
in fees,
Yeah.
and how much has it cost us to pay those
Right.
decisions. And actually, it's just half the year because
Right, we're not
we go by
there yet.
fiscal years. So I would like to have that information before we even.
Okay, I think
sit
Ross
down.
can get us that.
And I'm not quite sure, because I have not personally been involved with setting up a revolving account. It may take an act of the townspeople to
Right.
create a
It may.
revolving account.
I think
So
you
this
said
may
that
have
to
to
me.
wait till the
Right.
town meeting.
And I think though, we're gonna have to go back to the town before then for monies, I think.
Yeah. How much is in the account?
About 12,000, there's quite a bit in there, but I
Okay.
did just pay 2 decisions, so it could be a little less.
Right, okay. Well, the next thing, Jen, next door, are we moving definitely, has been determined?
Yes,
And-
zoning board of appeals is moving next door.
Do you have an idea,
I
time-wise?
don't, it's probably gonna be a couple more months.
Couple more
before we
months.
move,
Are we falling under your umbrella?
The administratively, yes. I obviously, I don't have any control over this board, you're an independent board. But the zoning board, your clerk, her daily activities, I can assist in some budget writing if you
Yeah.
choose to. I'd like to try to pool the 3 departments and
Right.
buy things more efficiently, effectively, with some bulk buying. So yes, I am
Okay.
gonna be in overseeing those 2 departments, planning and zoning.
Okay,
The boards will obviously remain completely independent, and I think it'll be a great relationship.
absolutely. It's a great
Um,
relationship now, so there's
right.
no reason to change.
The logistics over there, it's actually coming out very, very
Is it
well.
really?
The highway department is doing a phenomenal job.
They always do.
They are, they've stepped up to the plate. I'm not sure if you're aware, I've worked with the selectmen and with Town Ferry, we've hired actual
Oh, 2 guys,
carpenters,
gentlemen, right?
contractors,
Yeah.
right, who have contractor abilities, and it's worked out significantly well. We're saving the townspeople a lot of money.
Great,
Plus, it's a design build, and as you know, it's much easier when you're working with
Instead of your-
in-house people and not contractors. So, with that said, it's logistically, it's being set up for the people.
great,
When you walk into the space, you're gonna be served.
Okay.
You can look in either direction.
awesome.
We're gonna have zoning board, planning board, building department, veterans officer. I'm gonna have a conference room downstairs, a small one. I've tried to use some of the nostalgia in the building, because it's an old building. In the conference room, I think everybody will be really impressed.
Yeah.
Upstairs will remain a meeting hall, and that's where your meetings will be held. There,
Now,
There used to be town
because we
meetings
don't have
up there.
cable there yet, so
We
when
will.
it will
That's
be
how old I am.
we
for
will.
the first meeting?
We may move the office prior to the meeting space
Okay.
being open, but I'm trying now to get it all to work at the same time. So I don't know if I'll be successful, but I'm trying.
And are we going wireless by any chance?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. We're working out all the logistics now.
Right.
So, with that said, we're gonna work out a schedule between planning and zoning, so we don't have any conflicts. Plus, the selectmen have said that there's a desire to make the hall available to other peoples.
Right.
So, if we can try to keep our meetings consistent, with the exception of emergencies, like we do now, at least we'll know, on this particular night, the hall's available or not available.
Right.
The hall will be completely handicap accessible. It'll be a much bigger space than this, much grander space than this. But I think when it comes to Dayton, everybody's gonna be pleasantly surprised when they walk in there and see how it turns out.
Okay.
So,
I used to go to town meetings in that building.
Yeah, one
yeah.
time.
Well, you will again,
Across the street, Stonegate,
yes,
has, anything happened since our last conversation?
nothing.
There is somebody interested in
Right,
proceeding, which would, on that, which would require, this is why it's on the agenda, a whole new 40B. Well, not necessarily, it would require a bit of work. Even, the current owner has, did he sell, did he close on that house?
not that I'm aware of, no.
I didn't think would happen. Even if the current owner wanted to sell 2 lots, which is a possibility, he would have to come back to the board, and we would have to approve that contractor and approve that sale.
And the
And
houses he's gonna put on have to be all part of,
it would be
Have
that
to go
contractor
with-
would have to follow the current 40B things that we approve. I gotta be honest with you, I don't think it's even gonna get that far. My gut feeling is, I think,
What complicates things even more, and I don't mean to interrupt,
no,
is that
it's-
they're in arrears on taxes again.
yeah.
So they're completely shut off. There's no more permits, no
Right.
inspections, nothing.
We, Jim has issued a cease and desist. I actually asked him several months ago to issue one on a house that was built wrong. There's a lot of violations there right now, from contracting to